An overview of Stoicism, where it was born and how wise and resilient men became truly invincible through its teachings. In a world obsessed with speed, success, and appearances, Stoicism offers something radically different: clarity, calm, and control. If you've ever felt overwhelmed, lost, or tired of chasing what never satisfies, this may be the philosophy you've been searching for. 1. A shipwreck. A philosophy is born. Imagine being Zeno, a wealthy merchant in 300 BC. Your ships are loaded with precious cargo, your fortune built over decades of tireless effort. But during one fateful voyage, a violent storm swallows everything. In a single night, your life's work vanishes beneath the waves. No warning, no mercy, just silence. Most people would break, rage against the sky, curse fate, drown in bitterness. But not Zeno. He walked, drenched and defeated, into a small bookstore. There, among dusty scrolls, he discovered the teachings of Socrates. That moment didn't just change his life, it changed the course of philosophy. Instead of clinging to what was lost, Zeno chose to rebuild, not his fortune, but his mindset. And from the ruins of that tragedy, Stoicism was born. Not forged in palaces, but in collapse. Not shaped by victory, but by loss. It was a philosophy born not to comfort the privileged, but to strengthen the broken. To show that even when all is taken from you, you still remain. And that might just be enough. Think about that. If you were stripped of everything tomorrow, your job, your home, your identity, what would be left? Would it destroy you or define you? 2. Stoicism is not about feeling nothing, it's about mastering everything. Stoicism is often misunderstood. Many imagine a Stoic as a cold, emotionless figure, untouched by joy or sorrow, a statue in the storm. But that's not what Zeno taught. Stoicism isn't about suppressing emotions, it's about understanding them so deeply that they no longer control you. Think of anger. It flares, it burns. But what happens when the fire is inside someone who knows it's just passing smoke? He sees it rise, he watches it go, he acts with reason, not reaction. A Stoic doesn't deny pain, he simply refuses to let pain decide who he becomes. And that's what made Stoicism revolutionary. In a world obsessed with reacting, with snapping back, clapping back, fighting back, Stoicism teaches stillness, clarity, power in restraint. It doesn't demand you shut off your feelings, but instead teaches you how to keep them in their rightful place as signals, not as rulers. And perhaps that's why it has endured for over 2,000 years. Because the modern world isn't short on emotions, it's drowning in them. But very few people have ever learned what Zeno learned after he lost everything. That emotions are not your enemy. They're tools, powerful ones, but only in the hands of someone who knows how to wield them. Stoicism gives you that ability not to become numb, but to become undisturbed. Not to be cold, but to be calm in the fire. 3. From slaves to emperors, Stoicism belongs to everyone. If you think Stoicism is only for philosophers, kings, or people with time to sit and ponder life, think again. Epictetus was born a slave. His body was broken. He walked with a limp, likely from abuse, yet his mind was indestructible. Seneca was a political advisor, surrounded by corruption, schemes, and power. Yet he chose simplicity and self-reflection over luxury and manipulation. Marcus Aurelius ruled the Roman Empire, the most powerful man on earth. He could have lived in endless indulgence, but he wrote his deepest thoughts alone at night, reminding himself daily, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." From chains to thrones, the Stoics shared one unshakable belief. The most important battle is the one within. They knew what we forget, that you don't need to control the world to be powerful. You only need to control yourself. This is what makes Stoicism radical. It levels the playing field. You don't need a perfect childhood. You don't need status, money, or even freedom to begin the work. Whether you're sweeping streets or running companies, you have the same tools the Stoics had: a human mind, a will to choose, and the next moment yours to command. In a chaotic world, that's real power. 4. Training for chaos, the power of voluntary discomfort. The Stoics didn't just preach resilience, they trained for it. Long before life tested them, they tested themselves through something deceptively simple yet radically effective: voluntary discomfort. Epictetus told his students to wear plain clothes and walk barefoot, even in winter. Seneca fasted regularly and slept on hard surfaces despite his wealth. Why? Were they trying to punish themselves? Number. They were preparing. Because the truth is, comfort softens us. It tricks us into believing that the world owes us warmth, safety, and ease. But the Stoics knew better life does not owe you anything. And if you're not ready, the first real storm can shatter you. So they built strength in silence. Try sleeping without a pillow, skipping a meal, taking a cold shower, not because you must, but because you choose to. Every time you step outside your comfort zone, even briefly, you send a powerful message to your mind. I can endure more than I think. Voluntary discomfort isn't about suffering, it's about control. You take control of your reactions by putting yourself, intentionally, in situations where control is hard. You train your nervous system not to panic. You prove to yourself that you're already enough, even stripped of luxury, routine, or ease. Because when hardship hits, and it always does, you won't just survive it. You'll meet it like an old friend. 5. The freedom of letting go, the dichotomy of control. There's one idea at the heart of Stoicism. If you understand it not just intellectually, but emotionally, your life will never be the same. It's called the dichotomy of control. Simply put, some things are up to you, some things are not. That's it. You can't control the weather, the stock market, the past, what people think, how they treat you, whether they love you, betray you, or forget you. But you can control how you respond, what story you tell yourself, the principles you live by, the effort you put in, the thoughts you allow to shape your identity. It sounds simple, but how many of us waste years fighting battles we were never meant to win, arguing with reality, obsessing over outcomes, trying to force the world to behave? The Stoics saw this for what it is, slavery, not chains on the body but on the mind. Real freedom, they believed, begins the moment you stop trying to control the uncontrollable. When you redirect all that energy inward toward your character, your choices, your clarity, you unlock a kind of peace that can't be stolen. As Epictetus said, freedom is not achieved by satisfying desire, but by eliminating it. To let go is not to give up, it's to rise above, to say, this I will carry, the rest I release. And in that act of release, you reclaim your power. 6. Why chasing more leaves you with less. You scroll, you compare, you measure your life against filtered images and carefully curated smiles. And slowly, without even realizing it, you begin to believe, I'll be happy when I get the promotion, when I find the one, when my follower count hits 6 figures, when I have more. But Stoicism flips the question entirely. It doesn't ask, how can I get more? It asks, what can I live without? Seneca warned that tying our happiness to external things, money, praise, status, is like tying a boat to a drifting log. You feel stable for a moment, until the current pulls it away. And with it, your peace. The Stoics taught that true joy comes not from addition, but subtraction. Strip away what the world told you to want. Peel off the layers of expectation. Ask yourself, if everything I value were taken from me, who would I be then? If the answer terrifies you, don't run. That's where the work begins. The purpose of life is not to collect trophies. It's to cultivate a mind that remains upright even when the shelves are empty, to stand tall even when the applause stops. To feel whole not because the world approves of you, but because you no longer need it to. When you anchor your happiness inside, the storms outside lose their power. And that is when you finally become untouchable. 7. Success is effort, not outcome. We live in a results-driven world. Numbers define worth. Metrics measure value. How many likes? How much revenue? How fast did you grow? But Stoicism asks a very different question. Did you give it your best? Marcus Aurelius led armies and governed an empire. But in his private journal, he never praised himself for victories. He reminded himself to wake up with purpose, to act justly, to speak truthfully, regardless of the results. That's Stoicism. You control the input, never the outcome. You can write a brilliant book. It may never sell. You can love someone deeply. They might walk away. You can do everything right and still fail. So what then? You try again because your identity isn't tied to the finish line. It's built in the footsteps. Imagine how different life would feel if you judged yourself not by what you achieved, but by how you showed up. Not by applause, but by integrity. Not by trophies, but by truth. The Stoics believed that the outcome belongs to the universe, but the effort, the discipline, the courage to keep showing up that belongs to you. Epictetus said, "You are not your body, you are not your possessions, you are your choices. So make your choices strong. Pour yourself fully into the work, not for validation, but because that's who you are, someone who strives, someone who builds, someone who creates value, even if the world is too distracted to notice. Because sometimes the algorithm doesn't reward the most honest voice. Sometimes the boss overlooks your effort. Sometimes the people you try hardest to help don't understand. But that doesn't mean it was meaningless. It means it was yours. Let others chase the spotlight. You chase mastery. And when the world is silent, you'll still sleep in peace. Because you'll know, I gave what I could with what I had to something that mattered. And in the Stoic view, that is success. 8. The 4 pillars that hold you up when life falls apart. What makes a Stoic truly unshakable? Not armor, not indifference, but virtue lived, practiced, and internalized. The Stoics believed that a good life rests on 4 pillars. Remove one, and the whole structure begins to crack. Wisdom is the ability to see clearly, to know what matters and what doesn't. It helps you choose your battles, your thoughts, your words. It's not about being smart, it's about being rightly guided. Seeing the world as it is, not as you wish it to be. Courage is not the absence of fear, it's moving forward despite it. The Stoic says, I feel afraid, and I act anyway. Whether it's facing illness, loss, betrayal, or uncertainty, courage is what keeps your feet moving. Temperance is restraint in a world of excess. It's choosing enough when more is available. It's knowing that real power isn't indulgence, it's discipline. The Stoic doesn't overeat, overspend, or overreact. He is sharp because he is measured. And then comes justice, the highest virtue. To do what is right, even when it costs you. To treat others not based on how they treat you, but on how they deserve to be treated as human beings. Build your life on these 4. When storms come, and they will, they won't knock you down. They'll reveal that you've already been standing on solid ground. 9. Nelson Mandela, the modern Stoic in a prison cell. 27 years. That's how long Nelson Mandela spent in prison, robbed of his freedom, his family, and the prime of his life. Most would have emerged bitter, broken, or hungry for revenge. But Mandela emerged, still whole. Why? Because while his body was behind bars, his mind stayed free. During those years of isolation, Mandela read the works of Marcus Aurelius. He absorbed the core Stoic belief. We cannot control what happens to us, but we can always control what we do next. He didn't fantasize about retaliation, he prepared for reconciliation. When he was finally released and became president, the world held its breath. Would he strike back? Would he punish those who had imprisoned him? Number. Mandela chose restraint, dignity, grace. He chose justice, not vengeance. Temperance, not rage. Courage, not comfort. And above all, wisdom, to see that a nation healed was more powerful than a nation avenged. That is Stoicism in action, not a theory on a page, but a living force forged in silence, in suffering, in the decision to be better when the world gives you every excuse to be worse. Mandela proved something extraordinary. You don't need perfect conditions to become your highest self. You need principles, and the courage to live by them, even when it hurts. 10. Ancient wisdom, modern healing Stoicism in today's psychology. You might think Stoicism is just philosophy, abstract, ancient, intellectual. But step into any modern therapist's office and you'll hear its echo. Cognitive behavioral therapy. Rational Emotive Behavioral Therapy, REBT. Logotherapy. All rooted in one Stoic idea: your thoughts shape your life, not your circumstances. REBT, created by Albert Ellis, teaches patients to identify irrational beliefs and replace them with healthier, rational ones. Sounds familiar? That's Epictetus. He said, "It's not things themselves that disturb us, but our opinions about them." Logotherapy, founded by Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor, teaches that meaning is the deepest human need. Even in suffering, we can choose purpose. That's Stoicism too. Frankl read the Stoics. He lived like one. In Auschwitz, stripped of family and freedom, he found his why: to help others find theirs. These aren't just inspiring stories, they're roadmaps. They prove that philosophy isn't a luxury for academics, it's medicine for the soul. Because in the end, we all face storms: heartbreak, loss, failure, fear. But if you train your mind like the Stoics did, with clarity, with control, with courage, you'll discover something profound. You're not just reacting to life anymore. You're responding with intention, not impulse, with strength, not panic. And that changes everything. Conclusion: to become truly invincible, begin not with your body, your bank account, or your status, but with your mind. Strength isn't about wealth. Silence isn't weakness. And loss is not the end. Invincibility doesn't mean you never fall. It means that when you do, you don't lose yourself. As the Stoics say, if the ship sinks and we drown, we can still take peace in the fact that we lived well. If this spoke to something deep in you, leave a comment, hit like, and subscribe. Let's keep building the kind of mind the storms can't touch.